Tonight's production, Running from Heaven, was written by Jeff Dunne. Jeff is an award-winning playwright and has created over 150 scripts, many of which have been produced across North America, Europe, and Asia, not only for stage, but adapted for the screen and radio. When not writing scripts, Jeff is also a composer and award-winning fiction author. Our theme is consequences. Consequences can be positive or negative. Everything we think and say and do has consequences for ourselves and for others. Like ripples on a pond, our actions spread out and affect others because everything is interconnected. And we need to remember that our actions are irreversible. Consequences are where our thoughts and actions meet reality. Please hang around after the show tonight to meet the playwright, cast, and crew for a short talkback. Thank you for your continued support of R5 Productions and enjoy the show.
Nana, can we leave? We came to the door like you wanted. I don't think anyone is even home. There aren't any cars around. Nana, can you hear me? Great. She's gone again. She's gone, and I'm stuck standing in front of a stranger's house looking like an idiot. No, worse, a trespassing idiot in the middle of "we shoot strangers on sight here, Maine."
Are you going to just stand there, Douglas?
I'm not. Never mind. Can we go now?
What are you waiting for? Let's go in.
We can't just walk in. It's not our house, Nana.
Just open the door.
We can't just. We can't just go in, Nana. It's not our house, and no one's home.
If I had a blowfish for every time someone said I can't.
Enough. Come on. Let's go.
Can I help you?
I'm sorry. My grandmother just wanted to see your house. I think that...
There you are. It took you forever to answer the door.
We didn't knock, Nana. I'm sorry. She's a little, ever since she had a stroke.
Don't just stand there gaping, honey. Let's go inside.
She's been a little unpredictable.
Hogwash. Now let's go inside. I haven't waited all this time.
Nana, stop. This is not your house.
Don't be foolish.
I am really sorry. She's been obsessed with coming to Maine and with lighthouses. I thought that maybe if we finally came up here, but...
It's okay.
It isn't. She can get uncontrollable times. The doctor said that she thinks it's a form of dementia that...
Doctor's a poopy head. A big fucking poopy head.
Oh my God. Nana, I'm so sorry.
It's all right. I mean, sometimes when I get really upset, I'll call someone a poopy head too.
Why are we still standing out here, Douglas? Let's go inside.
We're not going inside.
Oh,
We're going home.
Don't be a dunderheaded marmot.
It's okay. I mean, if you think going in for a few minutes might help.
I don't know. It could make things worse. The doctor said that playing along might encourage her to go deeper into,
Step aside.
I guess we are going in. Thank you for understanding. I'm LeVar.
I thought she called you Douglas.
She's been calling me that since the stroke. I don't know why, and I can't get her to stop.
Could be worse. She could be calling you Poopy Head.
Good point. I should be grateful for that.
Susan.
Nana's name is Irene, although she never answers to that anymore.
Everything okay, honey?
Everything's fine, Grandpa. There's someone at the door, that's all. I'll be up with your lunch in a few minutes.
Don't keep him waiting for lunch. The old coot gets cranky when
Nana.
No, it's okay. She's right, actually.
Of course I'm right.
Grandpa likes his routines. Lunch has to be at noon
Nothing wrong with a good routine.
and always the same, which isn't the worst thing.
It's like a good poop.
Ham and cheese with ridged potato chips. I mean, it makes shopping easy.
Nana's the same way about some things.
Not that I've had one today.
Every night at 7:30, she has to have
I'd wrestle a muskox for a good poop right now.
Nana.
What?
Never mind.
Well, it's true.
Never mind.
Better than sex.
Nana.
Not with a muskox, Douglas.
I don't believe this.
Had to be a dang fool to try that a second time.
Oh my God. I am so sorry. What were you saying?
Oh, nothing.
Well, please do.
It's okay.
She's a handful, all right.
I think she's delightful.
Yeah, give it a few minutes.
The old coot is going to start getting impatient.
Oh, he can wait for a bit. It won't kill him.
Don't say I didn't warn you, honey.
So you live here with your grandfather?
Oh, no, this is my dad's house. I come by a few times a week so he can get out and, have a life.
Ah, is your grandfather?
Oh, no. He's still got his wits. Just doesn't try to use them much anymore. Ugh. I didn't forget, Grandpa.
I hit the button by accident.
Of course you did.
Told you.
It's like you know him.
What did you expect, silly girl?
Nana, stop.
You stop.
Nana.
Stop. No wonder all the pixies run away from you.
What was that?
Pixies. It's her way of saying lighten up. I think because are you okay?
What? No. I mean, yeah. Fine. That phrase just
I think she says it because of some old fairy tale or something. Pixies that are running around and afraid of stopping.
Can't let him catch up or it'll be all for nothing.
what'll all be for nothing.
Always loved this couch.
You've never been here before, Nana.
Oh, don't be silly, Douglas.
What'll be for nothing?
I could never get her to give me an answer to that. It has something to do with pixies running away from him. In the story, the pixies have some kind of special prize or package or something, and they're running so that this him can't catch up and take it back.
Irene? Nana? What are the pixies carrying?
Shh.
Oh, is it a secret? Ooh, did they steal it from someone? Did they steal it from him? Huh. Did they steal it from you?
Yes, so this is kind of how it always goes.
I'm coming, Grandpa.
I'm close to death up here.
Oh, for Pete's sake. If you're in such a rush, just come down and get it yourself.
Fat chance.
You know I don't want to miss anything.
Well, then you'll just have to wait for a bit.
Oh,
We should go. I didn't want to interrupt.
Oh, it's fine. He's got at least a good 20 minutes before he'll die of hunger.
What did he mean about not wanting to miss anything? Are there boat races or something going on?
Sometimes, but that's not what he means. Ever since my grandmother passed, he spends his days up there staring out at the ocean, looking for a sign.
Damn old fool.
She said something to him, trying to remember.
Quick
Oh.
as the flip of a tuna's tail.
That's it. And then she passed and said, I'll be back before you know it.
That's, possibly sweet or sad.
Lonely?
Yeah, something.
Yeah, all the above, I guess.
I'm sure my grandfather will be down in just a moment. Let's see.
It was probably really hard on your dad.
Oh, it was. I mean, Grandpa and him used to do a lot together. So to just watch him stop everything. When I was younger, Grandpa would come down more often and do things with me. But now, well, it's a lot of stairs for him. So he doesn't come down unless he absolutely has to.
So he just stays up there all alone every day, staring out at the water?
Well, on the days that I'm here, I go up and sit with him. We play cards or chess and talk while he keeps his lookout. I don't know what he does when I'm not here. I think my dad keeps him company most evenings, and sometimes on the weekends, he'll convince him to get out and go for a walk or head into town for dinner or something.
Then I suppose that settles it.
What do you think you're doing?
Going up to heaven, of course.
You're not dying, Nana. And even if you were, you're not going to do it in the back of some stranger's house.
Oh, what's the matter with you, Douglas? Have you lost your mind?
Have I lost my mind?
I'm just going up to heaven. What are you getting so flibberty about?
Oh, Nana.
You think I can't handle a couple of stairs? I ain't that old yet.
I don't think you take stairs to get up to heaven.
Douglas, sometimes I think you must have hit your head on something. The stairway to heaven is right through here.
What did you just say?
It's like he forgets everything.
What did you just say?
I said that the stairway to heaven is right through here. And don't play games like Douglas here. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, Susan. She normally doesn't get aggressive at all. Incomprehensible, silly, but not.
Grandpa, can you come down here?
You know
Really,
I don't
we'll
like
just
to-
go.
Just come down, okay?
Is everything okay, honey? Who was that? Was that Doug? What's he doing home?
It's not Dad. Just come down for a minute, okay?
No, I don't want to.
Grandpa!
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry. Nana's a little crazy, but I promise she would never hurt anyone or anything. We'll just go. I didn't mean to.
Why did you call the stairs that?
Honey, you know that's what they're called.
Nana calls steps stairways to heaven. Ever since the stroke, she's...
Oh, take that potato out of your rump roast. There's only one stairway to heaven, Douglas. Even little Susie knows that.
That's what my grandfather calls it too. The stairway to heaven. He says the top of the lighthouse is heaven. And that's why there's even a little brass plaque that says heaven over the door when you get to the top.
That was my idea. He thinks it's his, but I said it first. The old coot was always doing that. I think he knows it was my idea, though. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Margaret? Grandma Maggie? It's you, isn't it? I don't understand, but it is you.
Well, of course it's me, you silly girl. Well, if I'm going to head all the way up, I might as well bring up lunch, so...
All right, Susie. What's 131 stairs important? Oh, who is this?
Hello, sir. We're sorry to have disturbed you. Nana and me came up to Maine to look at lighthouses, and she just wanted to, well, she really liked yours, and...
Oh, you're such a poopy head, Douglas.
My late wife used to call our son that sometimes. Oh, that brings back memories. His name was Douglas, too.
Grandpa.
Well, you're welcome to sit for lunch if you want, but I got work to do upstairs. Susan, where's my sandwich? I might as well bring it.
Grandpa, this is Maggie.
Yeah, good name, Maggie. My late wife's name. Well, you enjoy now, all right?
George, you old coot. You got donkey balls stuffed in that head of yours. Now get back in here.
What did you say?
Like you don't know.
I don't know who you think you are, but when you're in my house,
Our house.
you're in my house. I built this house with my own two hands.
We built this house, you old coot. We did.
I don't know you.
Grandpa, I think that
What's this about, young lady? Is this your doing? Because this ain't funny.
I think it might really be Grandma.
Your grandma's dead.
Just listen to her.
What's there to listen to? I can tell plain as day this ain't her. Just look at her. Does it look like my Maggie? Does it sound like my Maggie?
She said some things. And LeVar said that. When did she have her stroke?
What? Oh, I guess that was 2004.
That's when Grandma passed away, wasn't it?
That don't mean anything.
When in 2004?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. Spring, maybe April.
Don't mean anything.
George Thomas Clark, you get that beaver mutton out of your brain and stop acting like a moron.
You ain't her. Maggie's gone.
Then how come you're spending every day looking for me? Little Susie said that you've been waiting for me to come back, like I promised.
Look, you ain't her any more than that's Douglas. Now I think you should leave.
You think I should leave? You think I should leave? After all these years looking for you, you think I should just leave?
I'm going back up to heaven. Bring me my lunch when they're up the road.
You used to say it's heaven because that's where you'd find your angel each morning.
Nana?
Maggie, I don't know what to say.
Nothing. It was all for nothing.
I'm here.
I thought once I finally found my home, through all the haze, after all these years, I never doubted that if I could just find the lighthouse, then everything would be all right again.
Oh, Nana.
I just never expected this. I never even imagined making my way home, only to find I wasn't welcome here no more.
You're welcome with me. I live just up the road a little.
A piece. You live up the road a piece. Didn't Douglas teach you how to speak right?
I grew up in New York.
Well, that explains it, I suppose.
If you want, you could.
Oh, that's sweet, honey. But I don't think so. This is where I was trying to get. This was the end of my tunnel. I guess the pixies can all stop running now. No point in hiding from him anymore.
From who, Nana? Who were you hiding from?
Death, you silly boy. Death's who the pixies were hiding me from. Come on, Doug. Come on, LeVar. Let's leave these people in peace.
Nana?
For what it's worth, your Irene was already, the pixies couldn't help her. That's why they hid me here.
Nana.
Time to stop.
Grandma, don't go.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey. I can't stay here. But I'll watch over you. You and Douglas.
Watch over.
You've grown into a fine lady. I'm proud of you, Susie.
I'm sorry, honey. It's a sick world where a stranger would come by just to play some kind of game like that. Must have been upsetting. I'll go make my sandwich. You take it easy.
All this time, you were never waiting for her to come back, were you? You said you were, but you had already given up. Then what are you doing up there every day?
It's what I told you. Waiting to see Maggie again.
You mean you're waiting to die?
what I said.
Well, you know what, Grandpa? I think maybe you already did. You just haven't realized it yet.
Just what's that supposed to mean?
I always had such respect for you. The way you refused to give up hope, refused to give up on love. I wanted to be like that. Wanted my life to be like that. To find someone who I'd never give up on. But now I see you haven't been remaining faithful. You've just been remaining.
Susie, honey, you can't let some crazy stranger.
Oh, don't. Maybe you closed your heart off so tight that you can't see what's right in front of you.
Oh, I saw, but I ain't going to be a victim for some flatlander criminal who.
Oh, no. You saw with your eyes, but you never gave your heart a chance. And now we're both the victims. You just pushed away the one chance we're ever going to have to see Grandma again in this life. Maybe she wasn't her, but I think maybe she was. And now we're never going to know.
Hey, everybody, turn your cameras and your audio back on. All right. Well, that went really well. That went great. Sorry about the echo in the beginning. Um, there are 3 screens that show the event. So we have our Zoom call, and then we have the dashboard, which is behind the scenes on YouTube, and then we have what the audience sees, and everything has to be on mute. And one of them was not. So I kept hearing, so that's why I had to go back and turn that on mute. Sorry about that. Anyway, so we should probably introduce ourselves, and then we can start a little talk back. So hi, everybody. I'm Nancy Ridgeway, the artistic director of R5 Productions. And I'm just going to call out the cast here and have them introduce themselves. Paul.
Hi, Paul Woldowski playing George. A lot of fun. I got a little bit of curmudgeon in me, so it worked out okay.
Did a great job. Keith.
I am Keith Malashevsky, and I played LeVar.
Meg.
Hi, I'm Meg Waldowski. I played Nana.
Jim.
I'm Jim McIntosh, the technical director and composer of the show.
Jillian.
I am Jillian Swan, and I played Susan.
And last but not least, Center Square, Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff Dunne, and I'm the playwright.
Well, I'm so glad that everybody is here with us tonight. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about this play. And Jeff, if you could start us off and tell us a little bit about your how you think this play relates to consequences, because that was our theme, and you submitted it to us, and we selected it.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I think we had actually, as the cast, talked a little bit about this before, and there was a better answer to this than I even had, that I think Keith had offered. But to me, I think this is really about learning to live with the choices that you've made, and the consequences that arise from that, and sometimes the costs. And obviously, the strongest one of these is for George, for the grandfather who has made that decision that this is just a waiting game. It's waiting to die, and, or as Susan says, sort of already having died and just not recognized it yet. But the consequences thereof of having made some kind of decision or some kind of assessment of what's possible and what's going to happen, and having drawn those conclusions, and then all of a sudden, maybe too late, realizing that the consequences of having decided what is and is not possible has cost him the most incredible opportunity that anybody could ever ask for, which is to be truly reunited with the woman that he loved, and not being able to see that. So I think, to me, that was the aspect of this that really made me think that it was a good fit for something in the spirit of consequences.
That's great. Thank you. So I was trying to see if we had any questions in our chat room.
Well, I'm there. I'll monitor that for you.
Okay.
So I know now Paige said, woohoo, great job, everybody. So got another Ridgeway.
Thanks, Paige.
Thanks, Paige.
Putting in there. So folks, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the chat itself. I'll be able to read that and be able to pass that along as we go on.
So what I'd like to do is ask, and I'll start with Keith, and talk a little bit about you played the part of LeVar, but Nana was calling you Douglas, and so because she was confused and stuff like that. So we know that the two of you traveled to Maine to go and see lighthouses. Do you think this is something you guys have been doing? Are you local? Are you from Maine? Or, how are you indulging your grandmother here? And what a nice person you are for doing so.
Yeah, I think that LeVar is a saint for dealing with Nana, because she is not an easy person to deal with.
Right.
Because she is
She's feisty.
determined. Yeah, she's feisty. but I think that Lars, he loves his grandmother, and I, I envisioned them not necessarily being close, because he said I just, she was insisting on going and seeing lighthouses, so I took her,
Right.
so it was a trip in that sense. So I felt like he was like, okay, I guess I'll do this, maybe it'll do something here, even if it's
Right.
not, because he just loves her that much. It was
Right.
And that's the interesting part of the consequence of that, because if he never does that, then she never has
Right.
this opportunity.
Right. My dad had um, Alzheimer's, and it was just really interesting to have to deal with somebody that truly has dementia, and you just end up kind of going along with things because it makes them happy. You know what I mean? As long as they're not hurting themselves or you or whatever. And I know my dad and I had a lot of funny times together, very, comedic times together, just because, it was just a totally different, situation than the person that he was. But, that's kind of the way we do things, right? So Jillian, so here you are playing this, loving, daughter slash granddaughter, whatnot, and strangers come to the door, and you're just like, yeah, sure, come on in. You're just like, yeah, all right, come on in.
I wonder if she's just the kind of person where it's obvious that there wasn't a danger, and seeing the age difference between the grandson and the grandmother,
Yeah.
and hearing her dialogue,
Mm-hmm.
it was just a sympathetic, sure, if it would help, and she's also recognizing her grandfather upstairs is aging as well. So
Yeah. So Jim, you said we have some questions there?
Yes, so Brad Ogden, first of all, he offers congratulations to everybody for the work done today. And he submitted a couple questions. I'll start with the one that refers to me, simply because I can get a short answer and then give the rest to everybody else. So he said, a shout out to Jim, love the song you composed for the series. Would love to hear about your creative process for that. And it's funny, this is the 8th show that I've done the music to. And I remember the first time when Nancy, we were doing the very first shows, and I go like, I think I'm going to write a song for this. And Nancy's like, okay, let's go ahead. It's funny. It's for all of these shows, I really think about what the meaning of the play is about, or in this case, the series. And I focus on more of the feeling. And then as I'm thinking about it, I'm like, what would that music sound like in my
Right.
head? It literally is that. So thinking of consequences, as Nancy said in the beginning, it's not a good thing or a bad thing. Consequences are just the reaction. So as I was putting this piece of music together, it is that process of thinking about what your actions are going to be and then what you're going to get out of it. And so that's how I start things off, just thinking about more of an emotion than the actual notes, and it comes from that. The next question Brad had for anybody: what do you think this play is asking us to consider or reconsider about our relationship with the death or afterlife, the afterlife?
Meg?
It's funny because I think that we should always leave our hearts open to any possibility. I am forever, I know this sounds really crazy, but smelling my grandmother's perfume and believing in my heart that she's somewhere still around me. And I think that it's going to make me cry, but I think Nana loved George so much, and she believed that he really needed her. And she must have made a pact with him somewhere along the line, because I know that I say this to Paul, that I will always come back and haunt you. So I think that she said that, to George somewhere along the line, and leave your heart open, because anything is possible. And when you love someone as much as I loved my grandparents and my father, you just feel that they're always there. So anything could happen.
Yeah, that's good. Very nice.
Anybody else like to make a comment before the next question?
I'll just say that, yeah.
Right, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Paul.
I was just saying that I saw in my mind, and Meg and I had some dialogue about this, that that Nana died younger. Nana died in her late 50s or early 60s, and a lot of years have gone past, and I think George has exponentially aged beyond what he should have, because he kind of only had one concept in his head, that he was physically going to see Maggie come out of the sea. And that was the only reality. And he didn't allow for anything else,
Right.
especially when his granddaughter said, listen to her. No, that ain't her. That ain't her. And it makes you think about maybe just paying attention that there may be other ways.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Jeff?
Well, now there's sort of two things. One is just to build off of what Paul said, is that sometimes the things that you're looking for don't always appear to be what they are on the surface, right? Somebody comes by, they look different, and you can allow yourself to be fooled to think that that's the part that matters when it really isn't. And then off of what Meg said, just that the line, I think we've got a very, very solid picture in our heads about what the line is between life and death. But at least for myself, I don't think it's quite as solid as that. And there's so many people that have had experiences of getting a message one form or another, whether it was just a thought that came out of nowhere in a dream or in whatever it was that allowed it for that individual to accept that there was a possibility of communication there. I think there's a lot. It's a lot more gray than black and white in how it really works out.
Yeah.
So we have another question. How involved was Jeff in the rehearsal process? And can the actors talk about their experience working with a new playwright for the first time?
Well, the easy part's mine. Almost not at all. I had the joy of being able to listen in on the first rehearsal, but it wasn't an active part. I was really just listening and enjoying what all the actors were bringing to the various characters. And there was not much for me to do, which I think as a playwright is the right answer, because that's the whole point of this art form, is a playwright takes something and they hand it off, and it's really from that point on a good playwright keeps his or her mouth very tightly shut, and that's the art of it. So I think it was great, and I think it's exactly how it should be. So
just to dovetail off of what Jeff is saying, in addition to him sitting in on a rehearsal, he and I had talked and we'd had a conversation and talked about the play a little bit after our read through. I had some questions about adapting the play to make sure that it came across as a radio play, because it could also be done as a stage production too. So, he was very helpful with that.
All right, so we had, well, let me ask the actors here. So, this is a play that is not like well published yet, or well out there yet. I say that for Jeff, yet. It's going to be out there all over the place. But for right now, what were your, for the actors, what was your first impressions when reading through the play itself?
I'll offer my opinion here. I enjoyed looking at it because it was interesting. It had the right level of seriousness and the right level of humor to keep it light, which is important when digesting something like this, because it has this overarching theme of consequences, which we talked about earlier, and the consequences of not keeping your mind open to things. LeVar just thinks his grandmom's crazy and he's taking her and doing whatever, and you have little Susie, so to speak. She's the one who goes, wow, this could really be my grandmother, and Georgie just is like, nope, what I know is what I know, and that's it. And it's interesting to see how each person's personality kind of brings out what their beliefs are, and Jeff writes in a way that you can kind of get behind that character and be able to kind of be like, cool, like this is what this person believes, this is what this person thinks. Like it was interesting seeing the play from that fashion. It was very readily able to see the depths inside of it.
Thanks.
I know when I read it, I think one of the things I liked about it was that as the play starts, it's LeVar and his grandmother, but then at a certain point, people can start to realize what's going on here. It's not just one moment. Each individual who is reading the play, there's going to be a certain part that, based on their own life or something they've experienced, they're going to start to hear something or see something, or it's a word that Nana says, or it's a word that Susie says, or something like that, that you start to realize, and it opens up and it goes into a whole, it shows itself, it develops into it. Because it's not given away by the title or the beginning or anything like that.
Yeah, right.
And one of the nice things about fresh works like this, and I'm one that always respects the words as they're written on the page. But as an actor, I love to be able to interpret those words in my own sense as to what I think this character should be. And that's what actors do. And I think if you got 5 different people or 4 different people, it may have been interpreted differently, but I love the way everybody kind of played off as to what they felt the right character was for that script.
Good point.
So for the last question, I'm gonna let Nancy know. I'm gonna let Nancy judge how long to go with this.
Okay, no, go ahead.
Paige wrote, maybe this is the woohoo, so Southern California of me, but what does the stairway look like to y'all? So she's obviously talking metaphorically, and not that the stairway was just a circular staircase going up inside. What does the stairway to heaven look like to anybody on the panel here? Is it a stream of light coming through clouds after a storm? Is it a musical journey where you either go the stairway to heaven or the highway to hell? Is it the...
Are you making this up as you go along?
I'm making that as I'm going along, yes.
Well, I'll kick it off with one answer, and it's the first thing that came to my mind when you asked the question. What does it look like? It looks like May 16th, 2022, and May 17th, 2022, and it looks like every day. It's
One step
each step is one of those days that you're alive. That's the stairway. And some days you sit down on the step and you're just like, nope,
Not going anywhere.
Some days you dance and you move along, and some days you laugh and some days you cry, but that's the stairway. This life.
I like it. That's a great answer.
All
Well,
right,
I think we should close it off here. I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. It's been a great a great series so far. We have one more installment next Monday night. And this is A Suitable Kind of Woman. So I hope that everybody comes back and listens to that last one act. It's going to be terrific. Thanks again for joining us, and we will see everybody on real soon. Take care now.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Also,
Nice meeting you.
I'm going
Thank you.
to stop the live stream, but I need the cast and everyone to stay on.
Oh. I was gonna go.